Okay, so the next article actually, which is very important, it was in news actually for various reasons. Actually, so that is regarding the glacial melting. Okay, so it was much in news. And recently from the articles of Down to Earth, okay, almost all the articles are regarding the glacial melting only. A lot of glaciers which are present in Iceland, US, and in case of India, Hindu Kush mountain ranges. So all the glaciers actually they are melting. So we have to understand what are the impacts which cause because of this melting of glaciers. Okay, so see here. So here in as we are preparing for UPSC, in case of my major concern was regarding Hindu Kush mountain ranges. Okay, so of course actually in Iceland, okay, glacier was almost melted, and almost in US Anderson Glacier it also completely disappeared. Okay, but I'm more concerned about Hindu Kush Himalayan ranges. Why? Because in the context of UPSC, the glacier which is very much proximity to India, we are more concerned about it. Okay, so see here, Hindu Kush Himalayan mountain ranges. So actually these are the same Himalayan system. Actually, I already told you in the classes the Himalayas which are present in India. In India, those are called as Himalayas, whereas in Pakistan they are called as Suleiman and Kirtar ranges, whereas in Afghanistan they are called as Hindu Kush mountain ranges. Okay, in Myanmar I already told you Perikanyoma and Peguyoma, Arakanyoma and Peguyoma. Okay, and moreover I already told you in Iran this is the same Zagros are the same Himalayan mountain system. This chain of mountain ranges, okay, which are present in the entire Indian subcontinent, actually it is the same system. Okay, it is the same Himalayan system, but in different countries actually they call with different names. Okay, but actually it is the same one Himalayan system only. So actually this Hindu Kush mountain ranges, okay, so according to this UN report which was published recently in 2025, so it gave an important insights. What are those important insights? According to those report, in 2000 to 2010, okay, so this decade is 2011 to 2020. Yes, so almost when compared to the past decade, when compared to 2000 to 2010, okay, in this last decade actually 45% of the Hindu Kush glacier was completely disappeared. Okay, when compared to the previous decade, 45% of the Hindu Kush glacier system was completely disappeared. Okay, and moreover if this continues, if this further continues, almost in 2100 almost the entire Hindu Kush glacier will be completely disappeared. So it is a very serious concern from the environment point of view actually. So first we have to understand what is the impact if the glacier gets melted down. Okay, so what are these impacts? So let us understand. So first of all, these glaciers, so they are having a very high reflective power. Okay, so that's why they appear white and bright, because when the light falls on them, actually majority of the light they reflects back into the atmosphere. So that's why they generally appear white and bright. So the albedo, okay, the reflective index was very high for glacier. So as a result, they will reflect most of the insolation from the earth. If this glacier gets melted down, almost the reflectivity gets down. As a result, most of the sunlight in the form of insolation will reaches to the Earth's atmosphere. Okay, if a lot of insolation gets reached to the Earth's atmosphere, automatically what will happen? It will increase global warming. Yes, which means that the insolation will increase. Okay, it is the first major impact, and moreover it will add dark waters. What is meant by this dark waters? So if this glacier got melted, okay, so automatically the albedo content will decrease, their reflective power decrease, and they will melt. Once they melt, they changes their color. Yes, they will be no more in white color, the reflective index will be decreased. So that's why these waters, this melted water is called as dark waters, because they are no more white, they are no more bright, because the reflective power has decreased. When these dark waters are added to the normal ocean waters, means which nothing but the melted glacial water, if it added to the normal ocean water, what will happen? The intensity of the tropical cyclones will increase. What is this intensity of tropical cyclones? I already told you how the tropical cyclones will take place. What are the reasons for tropical cyclones? Because it is due to difference in sea surface temperatures. So what is this difference in sea surface temperatures? As I already told you, for example, if it is the North America, it is the South America. Yes. So here there will be Atlantic Ocean, here Atlantic Ocean is there, here Atlantic Ocean is there, isn't it? Okay. But so it is the equator. Yes. So the Atlantic waters which are present at the equator, the temperature of the Atlantic waters which are present at the equator are not equal to the temperature. It is not at all equal to the temperature of this Atlantic waters which are present at this latitude. For example, at this equator, as the temperature insolation is very high, the temperature will be very high. As a result, for example, let us assume the temperature of this water which is present at the equator, Atlantic waters which is present at this equator is, let us assume it is 30 degrees Celsius. And the temperature of this Atlantic waters which is present at this higher latitude, let us say, for example, if it is 50 to 60 degree latitude, then definitely the temperature will be very less because the insolation is very less. So that's why let us assume the temperature of this Atlantic waters is 50 degrees Celsius, isn't it? These are a same part of so these waters are same part of the Atlantic Ocean only, but the sea surface temperatures are different because these waters are present at different latitudes, isn't it? This difference in sea surface temperatures actually create pressure difference gradients or pressure gradients, isn't it? So it is a high temperature and moreover it is a low temperature. Okay, if it is high temperature, then low pressure will be created, isn't it? As it is low temperature, high pressure will be created. Okay, so difference in temperatures will definitely create pressure gradients. So what do we know? The wind moves from high pressure to low pressure. So as a result, the wind moves from high pressure to low pressure. This and wind from all the high pressure zones. So here the low pressure zone will be created and surrounding there will be a lot of high pressure zones. And from different high pressure zones, so definitely the winds will come and try to fill up the deficit which is present in the low pressure zone, because the air which is present at this low pressure zone, because of this high temperature, it starts getting or it starts raising upwards. Okay, a zone of deficit will be created and hence the wind from this high pressure zone, so they travel towards low pressure zone to fill this deficit. I already told you this entire concept. This typical as the wind does not comes in the straight line. Okay, there will be Coriolis effect which will be present on the objects which or the objects or the things whatever it is which are traveling on the earth. As the wind is moving, okay, in the northern hemisphere, because of this Coriolis effect, the wind turns towards its right. If it is in the case of southern hemisphere, okay, the wind turns towards its left. Okay, so that's why the wind comes in a form of a circular manner, definitely. And because of this, actually it will become a circular motion which we call as cyclone. And as this happens in tropical regions, we generally call it as tropical cyclones. I already told you the entire story of how tropical cyclones will be formed, and they are very much frequent in case of tropical regions, and too in India they are very much prevalent in eastern coast of India when compared to western coast of India. I already told you why Bay of Bengal is more prone to tropical cyclones when compared to Arabian Sea, because Bay of Bengal, actually what happens, these tropical cyclones will be under the impact of trade winds. As trade winds move from east to west, okay, the tropical cyclones move from east to west. Hence, the cyclones which are formed in Bay of Bengal, they can hit the eastern coast of India. Okay, the cyclones which are formed in the Bay of Bengal, they can hit the eastern coast of India because of trade winds, but the cyclones which are formed in Arabian Sea, they go and hit other countries like Iran, West Asia, because they are under the influence of trade winds. This entire concept you already know, isn't it? Okay, so see here, what happens? These cyclones get intensified, means the speed of the wind and the destruction which will be caused by the tropical cyclones will be very devastating. Why? Because the glacial water because it got melted. The temperature is very, very less because it's a melted ice water. The temperature will be just above 0 degrees Celsius. Maybe it is 1 degree Celsius, 2 degrees Celsius, 3 degrees Celsius. So more cold water is getting added to the ocean waters, isn't it? Yes. So if more cold water is getting added, so automatically there the temperature will be very less, low temperature, and the normal ocean waters will become high temperature zones. So this difference in temperature gradients will be formed automatically. As a result, high temperature, low pressure, okay, so low temperature, high pressure, okay. So the pressure gradient zones will be from, as a result, from high pressure to low pressure, the wind will move. As a result, the tropical cyclones will come into picture. The intensity of the tropical cyclones will takes place. Okay, మీకు సింపుల్ గా అర్థమైంది అనుకుంటున్నాను. ఇంటెన్సిటీ ఆఫ్ ట్రాపికల్ సైక్లోన్స్ ఏంటి? ట్రాపికల్ సైక్లోన్ ఇప్పుడు ఉన్న దానికన్నా ఇట్ విల్ బికమ్ మోర్ డివాస్టేటింగ్ గా. ఎందుకంటే బికాస్ ఇఫ్ ద గ్రేడియంట్ ఈస్ వెరీ సివియర్, అంటే ద గ్రేడియంట్ ఎంత ఎక్కువగా ఫామ్ అయితే the difference between the high and low should be very high. అంటే the difference, see here, if the difference is between 3 and 1, 3 నుంచి 1 అయితే ఓకే, 3 నుంచి 1 చాలా స్లోగా వస్తుంది. ఎస్, ప్రెషర్ డిఫరెన్స్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇది 3 millibar, ఇది 1 millibar. ఓకే, ప్రెషర్ డిఫరెన్స్ ఈస్, ప్రెషర్ గ్రేడియంట్ ఈస్ వెరీ లో, సో ద విండ్ అనే స్పీడ్ అనేది కొంచెం లోగా ఉంటుంది. ఇఫ్ ద ప్రెషర్ డిఫరెన్స్ ఈస్ వెరీ హై, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఇఫ్ ద ప్రెషర్ డిఫరెన్స్, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ here the pressure difference is 10 and the pressure difference is 1. Here the difference is almost 9, isn't it? Okay, the speed of the wind will be very high. Okay, మీకు pressure gradient difference ఎంత హైగా ఉంటే ఏంటంటే the speed of the wind will be that much high. So if because of this glacial melting, the water which is entering into the ocean, it is very cool water. Okay, so దాని వల్ల ఏంటంటే the temperature difference అనేది it will be very high. As a result, the pressure gradients also will be high. So the speed of wind will be very, very high. So వచ్చే wind అనేది చాలా స్పీడ్ గా రావటం వల్ల it will cause more destruction. అందుకే intensity of tropical cyclones will be very high అని చెప్తున్నాను. అంటే సో మీరు చూసే ఉంటారు ఒకప్పుడు ఉన్న cyclones కి and now the cyclones, the variation and how much destruction they have been causing. ఒకప్పుడు cyclones తో కంపేర్ చేస్తే the cyclones right now what we are witnessing, they are causing more devastating, they are causing more destruction. For example, in case of Visakhapatnam, we already witnessed the Hudhud cyclone. For example, in case of West Bengal, they already witnessed like level 5, okay, almost Amphan cyclone. Okay, so these are a very, very intensified tropical cyclones. This is a result of adding of very, very cold waters to the normal ocean water. So in further, if this glacial water gets melted up, these cold waters, if added to the ocean water, the temperature gradients will be very high and the intensity of the tropical cyclones will be very, very high, and it will cause huge destruction to the human life and the ecosystems. Okay, and the next one is sea level rise automatically. Okay, so if the glacial water gets melted up and it adds to the ocean water budget will be increased. As a result, there will be increase in the sea level. As a result, what will be threatened, what will be impacted? The coastal areas. Okay, for example, if it is India, okay, so for example, if there are any islands, if the sea level rises, okay, for example, it is the coastal area, okay, the level of the sea water is this much. If the more water is getting added, so automatically the level of water in the ocean increases and it will raise. Yes, it will raise, it will raise, it will raise automatically when this water level rises. Okay, so if it is above the land, then automatically the water gets inundated into the land areas. Then automatically these land areas will get submerged under the water, isn't it? So if the sea level rises, automatically the coastal areas of any particular countries, okay, they will be under severe threat. Okay, because they get submerged at any time, and moreover the islands, they will be severely impacted because they are completely encroached, or they will be completely submerged by the sea waters. Okay, so there will be no more islands. I think so in West Bengal already they are facing the severe issues of the submergence of islands which are present near and around the West Bengal. So in case of India, actually West Bengal Sundarban area is under severe threat regarding sea level rise. They are already facing the issues of sea level rise, and most of the islands are already submerged, and most of the people who are residing in this particular islands, they already left those islands which are submerged, and they move on to other islands, which is creating a lot of hell other issues, because a lot of population pressure is getting created, because all the people are getting inhabited to only one island. So there will be a scarcity of natural resources, there will be huge population pressure, and much more poverty will, and much more other consequences will be happen, and the poverty will increase. There will be huge consequences, isn't it? Okay, so if the sea level will rise up automatically, so the islands and the coastal areas, they will be impacted severely. For example, in case of coastlands, actually mangroves, which are one type of wetlands, okay, so these are the forests actually. Okay, so these mangroves actually protect the coast from the coastal erosion, and even they also clear the pollution which is coming from the upstreams of the land. They can able to absorb the heavy metals, and we are having a lot of benefits from the mangroves. Yes, so we will these particular sea level rise and everything, actually they will completely destruct the mangroves, and people may lose the ecological services from the mangroves as well. Okay, and next one, increase in carbon dioxide. Okay,